Mustafa.
I am Muhammad Fazli bin Rosli, and now you are watching OB News.
You all know OB News will solve our viewers' problem, and this week is from Mr. Zaki, and the question sounds like this. James is a hard worker on the construction site, but two colleagues have discouraged him from working too quickly on his part of the project. At first, they taunted him about sucking up to the project boss and for trying to make everyone else among the construction crew look lazy. But more recently, the two colleagues have acted more threateningly towards James. One day during lunch break, the two cornered James and wouldn't let him pass by until they had uttered a few obscenities at him. A couple days later, the two colleagues stood near his car in the parking lot. They didn't prevent James from getting into his car and driving away, but the experience was uncomfortable and quite stressful. So the problem is, what type of stressor is James experiencing, and what is the most effective stress management strategy in this situation? Okay, Mr. Fazli, could you help our viewers on how to settle up this problem?
Okay, thank you, Mr.
So
Nabil.
the question clearly stated that what type of stressor is James experiencing. So we must know what is stressor. Stressor is actually the causes of stress. There are three types of it, and we will look through into one of them, in each one of them. So before identifying ways to manage work-related stress, we must first understand the causes known as stressors. Stressors include any environmental condition that place a physical or emotional demand on the person. There are numerous stressors in the workplace and in life in general. In this section, we'll highlight three of the most common work-related stressors, which are harassment and imbecility, work overload, and lack of control. So let's look into the first category, harassment and imbecility. So there's two types of it, which is psychological harassment and sexual harassment. Let's look into psychological harassment first. Psychological harassment includes repeated hostile or unwanted conduct, verbal comments, actions and gestures that undermine an employee's dignity or psychological integrity. This definition covers a broad landscape of behaviors from threats and bullying to subtle yet persistent forms of imbecility. Psychological harassment permeates the corporate landscape. The next is sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is a type of harassment in which a person's employment or job performance is conditional and depends on unwanted sexual relations, and or the person experiences sexual conduct from others that unreasonably interferes with work performance or creates an intimidating, hostile or offensive working environment. Then there's work overload. We look over 3 decades ago. Almost everyone, including professionals and management staff, members of IBM, worked 35 to 45 hours per week. They were vacant by 5:30 p.m. Their employees took sick leave whenever they experienced health problems. They also took real vacation of up to 5 weeks with no cell phones, computers or other electronics to keep them tethered to the job. Today, the employees in that same building work 60 to 80 hours per week, keep on working through most health problems and take almost no real vacation. Everyone is working harder now because of email, wireless access and globalization. Another factor is they want to buy more goods and services. A third reason, which we call ideal worker norm, where the professional expect us or the workers out there to work longer hours. So the work overload causes stress amongst the workers. The last type is low task control. Employees are more stressed when they lack control over how and when they perform their tasks, as well as the pace of work activity. Work is potentially more stressful when it is paced by machine, involve monitoring equipment, or follows a schedule controlled by someone else. From the situation faced by James, we can conclude that he experienced psychological harassment because once the two workers has confronted him, then when the next time they waited for him at the parking, he felt traumatized though they didn't actually confront him again. So we can conclude is in this situation, James is experiencing psychological harassment by the two workers. So now we have come to a better knowledge of what is actually stresses are. So Mr. Nabil, what is the most effective stress management strategy in this situation?
Alright, so as we all know, how to manage the work-related stress, we have a few ways how to manage the stress on work situation. So the first one is remove the stressor, second one is withdraw from the stressor, the third one is change stress perception, the next one is control stress consequences, and the last but not least is receive social support. So according to the situation, I can conclude that the most effective ways for James to solve and manage his work stress is withdraw from the stressor. So withdraw stressor may be an ideal solution, but it is often not feasible, which is also we can say that it is an alternative strategy is to permanently or temporarily remove employees from the stressor. Maybe the victim, we can divide him, or maybe we can separate him from the stressor for a while or permanently. So permanent withdrawal occurs when employees are transferred to jobs that are a better fit for their competency and also values, while temporarily withdrawing from the stressor is the most frequent way the employee manages stress. So for example, temporarily withdrawal is maybe a vacation, or maybe a holiday with family, or maybe the victim can take a leave, which is holidays and vacation is very important opportunities for employees to recover from stress and re-energize for future challenges. But I would like to also add to the point that maybe James could also take another alternative, which is to receive a social support from the family, or maybe from the colleagues, from the maybe parents and also their children. So the social support is like motivational support from the family members and all that I've been said just now, to encourage James to continue with his work and stay re-energized and continue with his work and maintain his task performance, and forget that he has all the stress. Alright, that's it.
So to James out there, we hope our discussion today could give you a better idea on how to manage your stress problem at your workplace.
So James, if you have any more problems or inquiries, you can always call up to our hotline, which is 017-999-2113. That's all from us. Thank you for watching
OB News.